Hey everyone, Donald Trump is in trouble with these groping charges. But what's fascinating is that this barrage of bad press hasn't seemed to dampen poll numbers. And it's almost a reflection of the idea that there's an undercurrent of thought completely different than what's being reported in the media regarding Trump. And maybe he really has ignited a base that's angry and isn't going to listen to anything negative about his message. With about 26 days before the election. That's fascinating. Uh, no man should do what Donald Trump is alleged to have done. I remember I was 16 years old at Raiders game, and the Raiderettes were going by a group, and this is when things were set up differently. And this guy reached out in front of me, black, and he grabbed one of them by the chook, she looked, the Raiderette looked back and like, who is that? And I did something like that, and she was, and I realized right then at 16, it's like, you know what? Why do that to somebody? Why? And the guy was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go back and give me some of that." And I was looking, and he was bigger than me and an older guy, and I'm like, "Oh, scary." You don't do that to a woman. I mean, you just don't. If you're a man and you're watching this, you're a young man and watching this. If you ever feel that you have to take an action like that, don't, because particularly in this day and age, if you do anything like that, you will be, if not jailed or beaten to a pulp, then at the very least outed in some kind of way that will embarrass you and haunt you for the rest of your life, and you deserve it. Don't do stuff like that. It's not even at all worth it. Now let me come back to my point regarding Trump. There are people who feel like, and I think he's ignited them, that they are not getting what they feel they're entitled to in life from an economic standpoint. Economically, if the flow of money was much better, we would have these problems. What do I mean? I mean that if common people had money to pay their basic bills and a little bit more to enjoy themselves without working a lot, you wouldn't see the kind of political calculus playing out that you're seeing. That is what we're dealing with at this point in time. It's what's impacting the Democratic and Republican campaigns. It's what's making it possible for Las Vegas Sands to promise and give so much money to people who are part-time legislators, because they're not making a lot of money, and so they can be easily swayed by money. That shouldn't be. And the money that they're making is not a lot, as I've said. Okay, that shouldn't be. So we have to really stop and think about the kind of society we've allowed to come up, unearth, basically evolve to, and say, do we want this for the future? And if we don't, we have to get our businesses back here. We have to spend more money on basic services. We have to have it so that people can afford to live a comfortable life. There's nothing wrong with that. We need to get on that track.